Previously on Meet Your Maker.
Don't worry, you'll be perfectly safe inside the armor.
Okay. Well then, whoa!
You didn't switch to creative.
No, I didn't!
Excellent.
Well, and that's the fifth...
That, maybe?
No need to retake. We don't do retakes.
If only we were pirates.
Oh.
Well, whoa. Holy moly. Hello there, gentlemen.
Hi.
Hello.
Hello.
Welcome.
Welcome.
What is this place?
This is our lab.
Alright, am I in any immediate danger? Because you look like not the trustworthy sort of people.
I'm fairly safe.
Well, this looks suspicious, I have to say. Oh, Windows, I say. I mean, Minecraft 1.10 auto jump for the win. So this is EnderIO, I suppose. Oh, this is gone again for me. Is the render still working on your end? This is obviously bleeding edge Minecraft 1.10 version of EnderIO, and I'm looking forward to have you guys show me around. Ah, look at this. It was never broken by the power of magic. Well, care to show me around? Care to help me teleport away, please? That is a black sword called the Ender, and it's quite powerful.
Well, if you look straight down, you will see. Maybe, yeah, and hold Shift, of course. Sneak. You will see a little box down there. Right-click on it.
There's a head in the box. What's in the box? There we go. Huh. Wow. This doesn't look suspicious at all, gentlemen. What the hell? Armor and tools. And a giant 1.10 MC computer enderman thingy in the middle.
We're just still upgrading to 1.10. As you can see, we've almost finished.
How do I get down there? Oh, I'm just
you can also sneak and right-click with the sword. Fly.
Ah! That's neat.
And we are not responsible for any smashing into walls you may do while using it.
Suffocating is
Lawsuit
optional.
pending. So, we need, like, those fancy conduits to be connected to this fancy mainframe. Did I get that right?
Yes.
Okay, so what would be our plan of action? What to do?
We'll need to make a redstone conduit so we can turn it on. An item conduit for all the stuff and things.
Huh.
We'll need some power and a fluid conduit.
Okay. Well then, I think we've got something to do. Let's get started.
Head back
Upstairs, I
upstairs.
presume. Oh, we can use the sortie again. Where's? Ah, here's resources. I guess that's never a bad place. Oh, and there's a flower on the floor.
That's interesting.
It got a bit squished there, I have to say.
What unexpected little beauty.
Yeah, I tried to grow it here, but it didn't want to stay upright on the metal floor.
Oh, that's too bad. Maybe I know a guy who's good with flowers. I may be able to hook you guys up. What is this thing? Inventory panel. Wow. Lots of stuff and ores.
Yes. Yeah, we had quite a few requests for something like this. Obviously, because we have the item handling aspect, it's kind of up our alley.
Yes,
Kind
indeed it
of
is.
went and I think it worked out.
Well, maybe you can give me a general tour of the EnderIOs. What's your mod about, and what can I do with it? Always the easy questions first.
Yeah. Well, the very initial inspiration is I got into Minecraft with my kid, and then through that I discovered Direwolf 20 and got watching his videos, and then thought I might try doing some mods because I got interested in modding through that, and I created the EnderIO block as just sort of a one-off. I wasn't necessarily even planning on releasing it. I just wanted to play around and see how modding worked. And then shortly after that, I decided to add some conduits so you could all fit together in one block, because playing modded Minecraft, I got really annoyed having to make, gaps 4 thick in my walls to fit all the cables I wanted and stuff. So my original plan was actually just to make it so thermal expansion conduits would fit in one block, but then when I actually looked into it, I discovered that just technically wasn't possible. So I had to create my own conduit, so that's where I sort of started. And everything's sort of grown from there. I needed an alloy smelter so that I could make the ingredients for the conduits. And then having the sag mill, really useful for all the other recipes. And I just sort of grew from there. I'm not sure when tterrag started. Or how much was already done at that stage. Can you remember?
Ooh, I believe it was on the end of 1.6 into 1.7, kind of that time. I started out just like reporting issues and such, as most people do, and eventually was adding pull requests, and then you were just like, okay, it would be good to have a second person. So
yeah,
I was added onto the team. That was probably almost 2 years ago now.
And a bigger team it has become. I'm standing in front of 3 people right now, but I presume there's even more heads involved. Henry, when did you join the project, and what are you currently working on? What's your deal?
Yeah, I joined about a year ago when I had some pull request of, I cannot remember what it was. I can remember what the first contact with EnderIO was. I had some difficulties with a wet recipe. Then, a pull request and this and that, and it really took up speed when the port to 189 came, and I got really involved.
All right. And what are you crazy scientists working on at the moment? What's your current objective?
Well, the main objective at the moment is for me, is to get a stable 1.10 release out. Really need to decide what to do about 1.7, but I've sort of left that to tterrag and Henry to decide. Because I pretty much was almost not involved in the project at all for about 9 months, a year, something like that, due to health issues.
Yeah, you helped with the 2.0 update. You did a whole bunch of stuff, like all these new machines, like the Soulbinder and the Spawner. That was all part of 2.0. And then after that, you kind of slowed down, and we updating 2.1, 2.2, and currently 2.3 is what sits in perpetual beta on 1.7, kind of waiting for us to split our time to it between that and 1.10.
How are you splitting your time between 1.7 and 1.10? Did you completely halt the 1.7 development, or is there currently any development work going down there as well?
Not intentionally, but sort of. I got involved with Chisel, as a lot of people know, and so I've been working on that for 1.9, 1.10, and these guys have been working on this mod for 1.9, 1.10, and so it kind of doesn't leave anyone left for 1.7, though I do plan to hopefully finish it off at some point.
Okay, so how has the migration from 1.7 over 1.8 to 1.10 been treating you? I presume you had a lot of obstacles to overcome, especially concerning the conduits and the painting. You're shaking your head.
It was a big job, particularly 1.7 to 1.8 was the killer.
Yeah, that was the killer. Going forward, it was relatively easy. In fact, before 1.9 was even popular, we started kind of readjusting because we knew what changes were coming, so it wasn't super difficult to go forward from 1.8, but that initial jump was a significant rewrite.
Okay.
Yeah, we could have written another mod in that time with the same size of EnderIO, I think.
Okay, but that never crossed your minds. You stuck with EnderIO. And
I think there
lucky
would've-
player base we are.
Yeah, been a lot of angry people had we gone that way.
I think it's very close to done now. Our list of known things not working is getting pretty small. I mean, unfortunately, the biggest waste of the whole process is we've spent this massive amount of time to just end up where we were a year ago.
How is your design process when it comes to implementing new stuff? I mean, there's 3 guys in front of me now, 3 cooks.
Largely just...
Yeah?
A lot of the time, there's only been one person doing it. It was just me for quite a while. Then tterrag took over for quite a while. But certainly throughout that time, it's always been largely through IRC, just sort of random chats or, hey, I had this idea or something like that. Or, quite a few things have just, someone's just gone ahead and built them and, it's all worked out well.
Like the telepad up there was kind of sparked by an idea that I think Direwolf gave me. He wanted some way to teleport around to places, power that it could store that place, and so I started working on that. I just added it, and after I'd worked with the mod for so long, I kind of had an idea of what fit in with the theme. So when I started out, I'd have to ask for everything I added, but once I kind of got the feel for it, I got more confident, I guess.
Do you see the future of the mod when it comes to new ideas, new content? Are you going to expand in a certain direction, like more along the lines of farming and planting, maybe slaughtering animals, that kind of machinery, more into the, well, let's say, I call it logic blocks? What's your general direction, if any?
I'm in 2 minds. There's lots of stuff I'd like to add. Like, I think the redstone stuff could be done heaps better. Having all sorts of logic gates, starting with a simple NOT gate on a redstone conduit.
Yeah.
Be really useful. And you could obviously expand that to, how long's a piece of string. That would be quite cool. And, there's all sorts of things, but I've learned with the whole updating to 1.10 process that, making it bigger just makes it harder and harder to maintain and update.
Is that a concern that you have often? Like saying, if we implement this and this is going to be big, we're going to have to maintain it. Let's maybe take a step back.
I think maybe before 1.8 it wasn't so much in our minds, and now it is, because we never know when Mojang is going to decide to redo everything again. Though it seems rather good right now. They seem to be doing smaller updates now, which is definitely good for us, the other modders, because it means less rewriting.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, and it's not just Mojang, it's also all the mod integration we have in, getting the farm into a state where it is useful again because it supports modded lands, was also much work. And that's completely invisible to the user.
Can you give maybe a number of work days that go into a project of this size?
Oh, I couldn't guess. A lot of hours.
Very many.
The update to 1.8, I had, I think, 4 or 5 weeks where I could put in all my time, so basically about 50 hours a week.
That's a new noise.
That's a new noise.
I did not know it made that noise.
And I did not know it would turn. Since when does it do that?
I sneaked that in. Sorry, guys.
Yeah, that's really cool.
And wow. And you guys are seeing this for the first time too?
I am. I've been a little removed from the 1.9, 1.10 stuff. I've started getting to it lately, but there's still some things I'm missing, and this is one of them.
It's so cool.
Yeah, this is some
This is
random
gonna take a
idea
while.
someone on IRC threw out when I think when
Okay,
we
I'm
talked
gonna pause
about the
that.
new model.
So this is obviously stuff that wouldn't have been, or would probably have been much harder to implement in 1.7. Do you guys value the creative possibilities that came along with the 1.8 and following updates, or would you rather have it like it was in the past?
I think in the long run, I think it is much better the way it is now. It's not perfect by any stretch, but if I would much prefer to start a brand new mod now than I would have at any other stage.
Yeah, for sure. And
So-
we had kind of, well, you had kind of built up a rendering system somewhat similar to what we have now over the course of making EnderIO. So it made things on 1.7 rather easy, but then of course 1.8 destroyed all that, and so now we use their system, and it's a little bit different. But I don't think this would have been harder on 1.7, but only because we had all of the wonderful library code that Crazypants had written.
Mm-hmm. Now we've been spending a lot of time talking about things that didn't make it or that were hard to implement. What particularly are you going to implement in the not so far future? I think you told me some things prior to the interview are going to make their way into 1.10 soon.
With the next thing on my to-do list is to get the telepad working as it was before.
Yeah.
But then once we've got that bit done, is to add some form of dialing-y type device and screen type interface for it, so you can set up multiple destinations and just click a button and say go here or go there.
All right. And the other guys, what are you two working on?
What my big next task is getting the inventory panel remote into a really useful state. At the moment, the inventory panel you remotely access has to be loaded client-side for you to do it. So you can't do it from too far away or from another dimension. There is much work to be done for that to be possible.
Can't wait to play around with that. Speaking of the devil playing around with that, I think you've got some resources over here. Will those suffice to get the conduits running? Maybe we should look into the panel. By the way, you guys don't know what the panel does. It works with the item conduits from EnderIO, which you can see over here. And they feed into those storage devices. It works, I think, with every inventory, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Across all mods, you need to insert a remote awareness upgrade, and you will be able to see all the contents of the connected inventories here on the inventory panel. It even has a crafting grid, so quite powerful and handy. What will we be needing for the right conduits? Let's press JEI. I think it was the green one, the Ender Energy Conduit. That means we need Vibrant Alloy, and that is made from an Ender Pearl and Energetic Alloy, which is made from gold, redstone, and glowstone. Should be having all that.
We have some energetic. Nope,
Ah.
0.
0. Oh, darn.
It says 1.
Yeah, I thought we had one.
Oh, there
Sure,
it
I
is.
made
I'm
some
looking-
last Tuesday.
I was looking at the wrong part of Wyla. That's why.
How did you say that? Wyler?
Wyla.
What did you say?
Whaler, mate.
Whaler, mate.
Whaler.
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 Die Whaler.
Whaler. That's what my Sheila calls it anyway.
Now I've got 6 vibrant alloys, and to make those into a conduit, all I have to do is...
Able to just look it up in JEI.
Yeah, I need conduit binder, and that is made from binder composite, which is made from clay, sand, and gravel.
We have those.
We do? Ah, that's great. And we'll be needing redstone conduit. While I'm crafting here, maybe you guys would like to tell me a little about how you react to people telling you that EnderIO doesn't really deliver any, well, special or new content, that it's, well, easily comparable to, like, let's say, for the sake of the argument, Industrial Craft 2, for example. Even the word copy has been used.
I mean, there's certainly similarities. You know, you can use it to melt metal and you can make some pipes. So yeah,
Right.
it's fair that it has some similar stuff. But you know, I think it does a unique take on it. So, I think it adds something people like to take on it, then that's great. And if they don't, well, that's fine.
Yeah, in the end, it is one more Technic mod, and as all technology mods, there will be similarities because they have to do the same things in the end. There will be pipes, there will be ore processing, and so on. But there will not be exploding machines.
So that's not a planned feature.
No, I was thinking about having our machines explode if they are sped up by speeding up the tick rate, but I decided against it.
I think the players will thank you for that.
I think so too.
Not like this would be a feature that people tend to like. I mean, there's a certain player base that goes for the hard mode every time, and the high road, if you want to call it that way.
People will, when they have the choice in a mod pack, always go for the easier route if they want it or not, no matter what they tell you. That's the simple truth. There might be one or two players who take the more expensive machine that works at half the speed, but that's a rare exception.
Okay. So, by the way, after all, I think I managed to get all the conduits we need ready.
Yeah, good job.
And neat they are. Let's place some down, maybe, just to show me what they look like. And they can go into the same block, like this, which is, I think, one of the most amazing things ever in Minecraft. And if you build your base, you certainly enjoy having all the cables in one block space. And there's apparently a lot of... Ooh! Sorry. There is apparently a lot of flowery stuff now. What am I looking at? Please explain.
Now, those things are called conduit facades, and you can hide your conduits in nearly any type of block. Also, I wouldn't call this hidden. It is decorated more than hidden. That is hidden, yes.
In earlier versions, that's what people would be used to seeing. Solid block over a conduit.
Fix those break particles. Also, I guess we haven't done the connected textures yet.
No. We haven't had a... neither me nor Henry have had a version of Chisel in our dev environment to...
Well, I don't blame you. It wasn't super stable until recently, so...
Yeah, the connected textures work with vanilla stairs, and I hoped it would work with Chisel too, but yeah, too much hope there.
Okay, but this is something you are actively working on, so you want to get Chisel and Chisels and Bits support going?
Yes.
Nice, that's going to be impactful. I
Chisel
mean,
and Bits.
This isn't a particularly beautiful construction in front of us, but I think it showcases the possibilities.
Yeah, I wouldn't necessarily suggest doing exactly this arrangement. Whoops.
How do we get those cables without breaking them? Is there any special tool? Ah, you're holding a wrench.
Ah, yes, here, have mine.
Oh, no.
Here's one
no.
Oh, no!
I got it.
Yeah, chase mine.
Alright, maybe before I connect the mainframe with you guys, we can have a look over here at your spawning and mob farming.
Ah, yes.
And those funny heads in the jars over here. But why is spawning and mob farming such a big part of the mod? Oh, hello, Mr. Enderman.
Well, it's more that we had all these machines that relied on mob heads and, things from mobs, and no easy way to get mobs. And so most of the spawner stuff was Crazypants, so he could talk about it.
Quite tedious. Is there any easier way to kill those guys?
There is. We have a zombie stuck in a jar with a sword, and you can turn that on, and he'll smack him for you.
Ah, so they are attracted by the obelisk?
Boy, that is loud.
That is very loud.
Don't have extra utilities. Can't muffle it. So that obelisk over there has, you can put soul vials in it, which are just captured souls of mobs, and it will attract any soul vial you put in there, any like mobs, and they'll just walk towards it. They're not pulled towards it, they just have this innate desire to walk towards it for some reason.
Why the vast amount of violence?
Well, one of my favorite parts of Minecraft is exploring and fighting and dying. And I didn't like the fact that I really liked getting zombie heads and stuff. I thought that was a really cool idea that you cut their head off. There was nothing really to do with them, so I decided to solve that problem and something to do with them.
And it's all controlled using insulated redstone conduits, which we can see here. All right, let's pass those obelisks. Is there anything new that?
Well, a lot of these need power, and they do not have it.
Yeah, yes, indeed. Probably somebody just put them here to show them.
I really like the the new weather obelisk.
Yes.
That's in only in a recent version of 1.7, isn't it?
Right, yeah, it was added to 1.7 pretty late on. Oh, this is empty. That's not placing right. Okay. Bug.
I think since we are in the end, we won't be able to change the weather, but maybe you can...
I don't have necessarily any checks for that, so it's probably still going to work. Just won't do anything. So, yeah, I've got... You put fluid in there. Different kinds of fluid. Whoa!
Whoa!
Yay!
What did
No
it
weather
do?
at the end.
Well, maybe since we are in the end and can't really showcase it, you can explain what the weather obelisk is doing. I presume it's got something to do with changing the weather, maybe?
Yes. So there are 3 different fluids. There's liquid sunshine and cloud seed, concentrated cloud seed. So you can put either one of those 3 in here, and each one corresponds to a weather. So there's sunshine, rain, and thunderstorm, just like you'd expect. And then it also takes the firework, activate it or give it a redstone pulse, and the firework will get loaded up with all that fluid and shot off into the sky, and it'll explode a million times, and then the weather will change.
That's great. So no more thunderstorms when I don't want them.
Right. Or you can make the thunderstorm go away, which I think is more useful. But the liquid sunshine is not cheap. You look
But
up
there
the
is
recipe.
ways to generate power from thunderstorms, so
That's
maybe
true.
some cross-mod interaction there.
Yes.
I'll let people figure that out.
But it's not, none of the liquids are super cheap, so it won't be ridiculously easy.
All right, so more stuff to
Make
do,
cloud
more
seed,
things
it
to
takes
automate.
Water, clay, and snow, so you have to find a way to automate snow or ice. A little tricky.
Yeah, it wouldn't be fun if it was too easy. Any other obelisk functionality that you could tell me about that is maybe new? I know about the aversion and the attractor obelisks already. The inhibitor,
there
I
is a
presume,
new
stops at...
relocator obelisk
Yeah?
that was added recently. This one collects naturally spawning mobs and pulls them to it. So if you don't yet have a full-blown mob spawner, you can put that somewhere and have your area cleaned of mobs.
That's nice. So another way of, let's say, mob management, putting
Yeah,
them where I want
exactly.
them.
It is not as good as preventing mobs from being around as an aversion obelisk, but you get to kill those mobs in a central area.
Okay. Or use them for whatever means I like.
Or use them for whatever means.
Yeah, I've heard there's lots of uses. On my travels, I encountered blood mages that took the life essence from mobs. I heard there's even some sort of strange magic that is working with the souls of mobs. Maybe there's some applications there. Very, very interesting.
Right.
Yeah,
And if you think
sounds
of
useful.
Think of like Skyblock, where you can just make a platform and mobs will spawn on it. You can't really do that in a normal game because they'll just spawn everywhere. But with this, now you kind of can do that. You can make a mob spawner like you would in a Skyblock and put that on there. It'll kind of bring them to it. Work like it would.
Right.
Oh, I think that's useful.
The inhibitor obelisk, if I'm not completely mistaken, prevents Endermen from teleporting around.
It
Yes,
also
it does.
will prevent players teleporting around, I think.
So if you want to keep your base safe from
Exactly.
peeking eyes, this is the obelisk to go for. Okay. Good stuff. And another weather obelisk. And the aversion and I think attractor obelisks were the first two and should already be well known, but in case people do not know, you can put in soul vials into the slots. Soul vials, of course, being, well, vials that contain the soul of a mob that you have to right click. Maybe an analogy to the golden lasso from extra utilities, or is there a real difference?
It's pretty similar to that. It can be reused as times as you want.
For example,
That was largely added to as a mechanism to make mobs part of recipes.
Yeah.
which indeed they have become quite a lot. I mean, you need heads, you need those soul vials, you need broken spawners that you work with in order to spawn the kind of mob that you desire. If you want a specific mob to be spawned over here, we have two spawners using or spawning Enderman and Wither Skellies. You can spawn any mob in the game. Is that right? Any modded
Not
mob?
quite. There is a blacklist, and you can't spawn bosses with it.
Was that a technical decision or a design decision?
Originally,
Design.
it was a design decision. Yeah.
So you don't want people to farm the Ender Dragon using your tools?
Exactly. Also, the Ender Dragon cannot be captured by a soul vial because it is special. It would be really, really much work on copying of many things out of vanilla to have a spawnable Ender Dragon.
It works fine with the Wither. I think you can just remove it from the blacklist and it set a few config options, and you can make Wither spawners and catch Withers in soul vials.
Yes, there
It's
are
always
two
fun if
config
you want to go and
options. One
go
for
and drop
bosses.
off Withers in people's bases is quite fun. But yeah, they're set to default for obvious reasons. It's kind of changes the game mechanic a bit too much if you can just turn on a spawning machine to spawn Withers or drop them in people's bases.
All right. Let's head over maybe to the next station. I see armor, I see tools. Some of those I know, some of those seem new. I'm, for example, not too sure about the shears. Those a recent feature, or did I just not see those?
It's a recent feature that was added in 1.7.
Yes.
Yeah, when we added the possibility for the farm to shear leaves, we thought we need shears that are a little bit more durable than the vanilla ones.
Mm-hmm.
Because they get used up by a single medium-sized tree.
Okay. Yeah, that makes perfectly sense. They are RF powered, I presume, like all the tools?
Yes, they are.
Right,
They
there
can
is-
be, yeah.
Can be. Okay, there is the good old stuff of the Traveler and well, the Ender, which I already got in my inventory. You guys also tinkered around with
Yeah.
Oh,
That's what I want. What was that? Uh-oh.
okay. Anything that people that haven't played with EnderIO for quite some time have to expect coming into the 1.10 version?
No, at the moment I think it's basically a straight port.
Yeah, it's a straight port with some minor additions. We now have a new kind of pressure plate that can be tuned to a specific type of mob. So if you want your TNT to explode when a creeper walks over it, very easily now, you have to catch one first with a soul vial. Then we have painted versions of our colored versions of our glasses now. We have a new tier of solar panel for those people who want more power. Then what else do we have new? Yes, we have an RF code that you can put on any block that is powered. That one is not powered. Obviously, that one is.
That's fancy. And that's working with all EnderIO machines or even other mods?
It's working with every block that can have RF in it.
Wow, that's cool.
Yeah, it was a side effect of redoing the display on the capacitor bank. I found I could easily put it in a standalone block.
Very well done indeed. This is awesome. You
Yeah,
guys think we're
then
gonna
we have
see
a
more
new
of that in the future? Not
power
only from
monitor.
EnderIO? Oh, what's that?
That's a new power monitor.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
We
is that?
should connect it to something that has power, I think. Yeah, something like that. Put a conduit in between them, please. There you can see the graph on the block itself and in the GUI.
No.
You can change the time base in the GUI.
So I can really graphically monitor the power consumption and power flow in my base.
Exactly, yes. This is a block I ported over from EnderIO add-ons because it fits well into the main mod.
We are beginning to see a small graph, which is amazing.
Yeah, I
Either
thought
that or
this-
somebody is playing Snake really slow. Anything you would like to leave me with? Anything for my travels? Any interesting information you'd like
You
to
already
share
have
with the
your-
community?
sword, right? Don't leave without that. It's really good.
You mean the sword?
Yeah.
Yes. It is
Yes,
really
and
good.
always take a magnet with you, and if you have bauble slots, then put it into them.
Oh, that works now. I
That
don't
works.
think we got baubles on this server, but it's certainly nice to
I
know
have to
that
give
we
you
could.
some pants. So
Ooh.
I have some pants.
Thanks
Yeah.
you. Thanks, Mr. Pants. Stuart. Why is it called Stuart?
I just thought you might like a pair of pants called Stuart.
I do. I look fancy. All right. I guess I'm all set for the next travel, wherever it may lead. All right, guys. I'm gonna do the honors. Connect. Let's start with the redstone in the red slot, and with the energy conduit. Colors probably not perfectly fitting, but we shall not make a big deal of that. Like this. Then we've got the item conduit. And any final words before we start this evil doomsday machine?
No, I think everything is fine. Guys, you did remember to connect the data. Yeah, it's okay.
It'll be fine. It'll be fine. I'm sure.
Good luck.
Well
Don't
then,
forget your pants.
I won't, sir. I won't. See ya.
See on the next episode of Meet Your Maker, Slowpoke.